There could be things.
We working on rumors right
Of
now.
course, this is speculation, but what I'm saying is it could be bigger than a cash ask. It could be, hey, Lucian, I appreciate everything you're offering me. I'll accept the 600 million in cash. But what you're not giving me that I really want is 20% equity in
Never
UMPG
gonna
and
happen.
UMG.
They
And
killed.
That's what he's asking
Yeah,
for,
never,
though.
I'm just
That's what he
saying
never.
that's what
deserves,
it
to be
could be.
clear.
And
If
it is
he's
what
Now,
he
how
bringing in
much?
all
deserves.
the checks the
Universal
way
give
y'all
him
even
that.
admitting he is, what and this is why I feel like this is a culmination of your entire podcast, Joe. From 2018 on up, you've been talking about creators equity, owning your own. And I get that that's part of your resentment for Drake because it does feel like he just took the checks. He didn't try to fight. He didn't try to fight the fight. I get that piece. But I think I would expect a little more empathy from you, Joe, because it takes that moment, that wake up. He's having his wake up call moment. It just took him all this time because he was always on top. I
I
don't think
agree.
it's over. I think he can
I
still do
agree.
the wake up. He can still, and then who better than Drake? It would have to be Drake to do it. Who else could do it if not him?
That's right. That's right. It doesn't mean I
But
agree with his music right now. It's just the truth has to be put out there. Otherwise, you're just playing off of speculation the whole time. Like this guy is the one guy who could knock over the building.
But he's
Rick, I'm not all the way against that. I'm not all the way against that at all. Actually, that's a best case scenario. It just don't look like we are near
We
that.
gotta root for it though,
It
Joe.
looks like an emotional reaction compounded by emotional reactions. I read through the thing. It don't sound like you have the it don't sound like you have to take the industry down smoking gun in there. What really would have done it was him taking his value away at the right time and making him crumble.
We can't go back. He
Wait
didn't
a minute.
know.
You
He
don't
I
didn't
you don't
know.
know
think
then.
Lamar,
He
But
no.
knows
that's why
hold
now.
it
on, wait a
might be
minute.
too late because
Hold on,
you
I
can't do
disagree with
that when
that.
the crown is being actively taken away from you. This is bad timing. You can't do that right now. It's not your place to do that, really, at this point. You should have done
Oh,
that
I
when you were
disagree with
battling
that.
for the.
But she's right. We can't rewind time.
Wait a minute, Joe. You said you didn't see a smoking gun, but in the petition, the smoking gun is not supposed to be in the petition. It's the evidence that he gets if the court grants him that petition that would have the smoking gun in it. So isn't
Even
it? So
petitioning for the
it,
evidence tells you that he doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it.
well, he
How
doesn't
long?
He
have to
doesn't
have
have
it
it.
if he knows it exists. That's why you do the petition to get the evidence to use.
Listen, they're gonna make the company pay $10,000 like they do the big companies with a data leak, and they're gonna send them on their merry way. Too much is disrupted. Too much would be disrupted by them even letting Drake find somebody that could spill something
Including
that is.
Spotify and all the podcasts for
Yeah,
the last few
they they
years.
they would come together and jump
Yep.
that boy.
Wait, so y'all think the industry is untouchable then? Y'all feel like
That's what I'm frustrated
it's
about
no
It's
because we
point
not
in
giving them
even
so much
asking.
power.
No,
untouchable. It's
no. I
not.
don't think it's untouchable. I just think you have to play a perfect game, which is why I'm so
Okay.
mad at him because he was the only one that could have did it.
He
Well,
needs
Joe,
us,
Joe, let me
Joe.
ask you a
If we really
question.
want him to win this fight, it's going to take you using your voice.
Hmm.
Because you just said it was power in words. It's power in
Hmm.
words. So we keep speaking like he lost before he even fought the fight. Then yeah, he might lose. He need us to back him up.
He
And
lost
Joe,
when he
you
fought
got to
with
be on his
Lucian
side because
2
this is,
years
like I
ago.
said, this is
I
Well,
don't
end
then
of
even
your
maybe
want
he
to
He
whole
see
already
entire
this.
lost.
podcast.
We don't want this from
maybe
He
he
him.
already
shouldn't have
lost.
shitted on us if he needed us then.
Right. We don't want this.
Hold on, I
Maybe
No.
he
have a
didn't play a
question for
perfect
Mark.
game then.
Mark, I got a question for you. When Mark and I were talking off camera yesterday about CNN and him being a correspondent on there and how it felt to be on TV and what the perception was. My question for Mark is, at a certain point, we all looked at broadcast television like the pinnacle of making it if you're a personality, and you'd be honored to be up there. But as we see, as time goes on, and we see that connecting with your fans directly, building your own infrastructure, your own platforms is becoming more valuable, we're seeing that archaic media, legacy media like CNN, MSNBC, Fox, they're falling off the ranks, losing advertising money, and losing confidence from the viewers. What makes you think Universal and every other major label institution is not losing ground on the independent infrastructures and they're not desperately clawing at someone like Drake? Because if they lose him, they lose all the consumer and artist confidence in the world moving forward, and eventually they just go down spiraling the drain losing all their market share to an independent movement?
I think in a lot of ways the is parallel. I just think that I think that potters and YouTube video content makers are ahead of the music industry on this. And not necessarily, cálmate, papá, momentito. Not because they're necessarily smarter or better, just because of how the infrastructure is. Like TV thought it was going to win forever, and then one day they looked around and was like, "Wait a minute, people aren't watching us anymore. Oh wait, we got rid of Glenn Beck. Oh wait, now he creates the Blaze. Oh wait, we thought we killed Tucker Carlson. He's making more money now than ever before and has more viewers than ever before. Bill O'Reilly, same shit." And I think that with music, there's a lot of the people who have the power, like Joe is saying, the people who have the power to move the thing forward, like the Bill O'Reilly and the Tucker Carlson of music, is the Drakes, but they're still trying to stay on the plantation. And if you start, if until they're ready to make the move, it's just going to be a lot harder. And I hear this is still on the tip of like, well, uh, we think he lost before the fight already started. I think what Joe is saying, if I understand him correctly, and if he is, if I do, I agree with him, is that we're in the fourth round of the fight. Drake is just realizing he's in the fight. The time to win the fight was when he was at his peak, when he had the energy and the money and all the things to pull out. It's not impossible to beat the music industry, but you need to play a perfect game. But also, you also need you need mass action and mass organization led by somebody strong like Drake in his prime.
Right.
And I don't know when the next one of them is coming around.
And that's my point, Mark. This to me is no different than the third party fight that we're having with the Democrats right now. As a Green Party member, hopefully you can appreciate this, but that is the equivalent to me of saying the Green Party they might as well give up. They're never going to defeat the Democrats. They might as well tap out. This is the same fight. We can't just give up because it's not the quote prime time. Yeah, the prime time for the third party to rise would have been 2016 Bernie Sanders. I'm clear on that. But does that mean just because they squashed it and he tapped when he tapped, does that mean third party should give up? Or do we have to just keep fighting on with what we got? And should Bernie, like, this is it's the same argument to me. It's the same one.
Let me ask a question to Mark, Ian, Joe, everybody, all the speakers. What percentage of the internet is comprised of dead or fake users that are bots? He is essentially trying to unveil a Ponzi as we're going into a recession.
20 to 30%.
Like
Yeah.
low end. Like this is a tricky ass game he's playing at a tricky time. And I'm gonna say this too because I was there when the puff shit happened. Man, there's certain families we can't go against publicly at being black. That's a declaration of war.
Yeah,
I
like I
just have
think that Puff had a case with them Ciroc
He
niggas. I
did.
think
He
Definitely
just
did.
did it
everything he
publicly.
was saying was true. But pow
Yes.
pow.
right.
Yes.
I just
I
had a
didn't even fucking
question
know George Clooney owned fucking Casamigos. He definitely had a point.
Quietly,
about
right?
that. I had a question. Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody on the stage. I just had a question. Are we really about to sit up here and be like Aubrey is the new Martin Luther King? Is that what we're
Yes, that's
doing?
what they doing. That
Like,
is
what
what
y'all
they
got
doing. I
going
hate
on?
it.
Y'all think he a
I don't
freedom
understand
fighter?
what
What
that.
the fuck
I
we
don't
got going
understand.
on?
I
I don't
hate it.
understand what she's saying. What do you
Y'all
mean,
Because
saying
Janae?
everybody is positioning him like he's a
he
hero
a
coming to
freedom
save the game, and
fighter.
I
Like
hate it.
what we got going on? He is not. Like, come on, y'all.
It's
Y'all don't think 85% of this is fueled by ego and a sore loser?
absolutely
Joe, oh
No.
wait,
not.
Joe, we're not talking
Of
about that.
Probably
course.
That's
90.
not what we're
No,
talking about.
we don't think
Okay.
that, and that's
Yeah.
not
Well,
what this
I do
conversation
think
is.
he has a good legal argument. I just think it's kind
Right.
of snitching in a
Right.
way because he's telling on himself. You utilize this. That's
Right.
how you know that's back there. So to
Exactly.
say, hey, y'all can't use this against me. Y'all supposed to use this for me. He's snitching, but
He's
that's some
I
street
feel like
yeah.
shit.
that's
It's
Wait,
all
it's like it's like
this
justification
is
of what's
him
revisionist.
happening.
It's a bit of
snitching.
revisionist It's a
Yes,
bit of
this is him
revisionist history.
snitching
He
for
wasn't
sure.
benefiting.
We
He never benefited.
this is so fucked up. Like the
No,
snitching
Ian, let
thing
me
is
tell you
so
why I'm
fucked
calling
up.
it
Oh
snitching.
my
I'm
god.
only calling it snitching because I am of the belief that he utilized all these things. All these things that he's calling cheating now, I believe that Drake utilized all these systems for him to win. So if you utilize,
Absolutely.
hold on, if you utilized all this shit for you to win, and then you said, hold on, wait a minute, you can't use this shit for somebody else to win, that's cheating. Then that's snitching to me. You got in the car, you was with the
I don't
crowd.
even think this is really his point. I think what you're seeing is very topical. It's meant for people who read through the document to jump up and down about, but the real issues that he's digging into are layers and layers and layers so much deeper than what you could read. And I don't think those two things even lead
Well,
you to
Wait
Ian,
a
there.
minute, Ian. That was
but
very
Ian,
vague.
I
Hold
think
on,
that was
hold on,
very
hold on, hold
vague.
on. Ian,
Absolutely.
that was very vague. And I'm the type of person who reads through all the documents. So you're saying you don't think that UMG had agreements with Spotify to boost Drake's shit?
UMG owns Spotify. Don't you guys understand that?
You don't think that they made these same agreements to boost
With
Drake's
Drake.
shit?
Guys,
But
listen to me. UMG and Spotify are one company, even if they're positioned to look like something different.
Yes.
What no one is refuting that. You're missing the point.
They're,
What
You
but
didn't
she's
they
answer my
they
asking.
choose,
question.
they pick and choose who it is gets the
Okay,
spotlight and gets the
right.
attention, which at any
So, but
moment
when
could
it
be
was
any
him,
artist.
why was it not a problem when he was the one they chose?
They didn't
they
choose him. Fans chose him.
What?
Yes,
What?
we
yes,
chose Drake. I
yes.
No,
hate the
we did
That's
revisionist
not.
history.
crazy as
We
hell.
absolutely
See,
didn't
this is
choose
Who
him.
cap.
listens
Okay,
to?
This is
okay.
cap.
I'm gonna
This is
no no
cap.
no. I'm gonna say
We're gonna
something.
say
I'm
that.
gonna
So
say
hold on one
something.
second. But Ian, can I throw something out there
Yeah,
while
of
so
course.
you
Go
can
ahead.
answer that while you're speaking? So are we going to? And this is where some of like the conversation gets a bit muddy and it gets we then temper in delusion a little bit. Do we want to believe that there was not a machine behind the skyrocketing success of some of Drake's releases, especially
Yes.
Scorpion? We
That's
don't
what they've
think
been in
that
here trying to
Scorpion.
say.
We do we not remember being on Apple Music and going on Spotify and seeing Drake's face on every playlist you can imagine that had nothing to do with his music, and we're gonna say that that was all fan focused and that was not machine driven.
Let let
I think Ian is going back to so far gone.
let me
Okay,
He must be.
let me
gotta
no
be because
let
I
me
remember I was outside, Joe.
No,
I was
Ian,
when
please
outside during
answer the
Scorpion.
question. Please
when
answer the
I'm
question,
allowed to
Ian.
respond, I will. Hello? Can I
That
talk?
was fucked up
Go
how you
ahead,
just took
Ian.
that
Go ahead.
pause. Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Okay.
we ain't flip. We ain't flip. You can't stun us. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to sun anyone.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Ian.
Okay. Here's my thought. My thought is when Drake became very, very popular and adopted by everyone who loved his music, Apple streaming wasn't even what it was today, what it is today. It was something very different. And Drake was so popular, putting him as the face helped Apple Music. Apple Music didn't necessarily help Drake the way you think it did. I think it's reverse. I think the
Well,
music
I was referencing
consumption.
Spotify.
Okay, Spotify, Apple. I think Drake adds
Okay,
more value to
he
those
does.
platforms than those platforms add to his music consumption.
That I don't agree with that.
I
I
agree with
think
that.
that's
I
true.
don't.
Hold on, wait.
Thousand
I
percent.
agree with that now, but I think the reason why he was able to get to that level of value is because of the way they poured into him
Yes,
before.
That's not
So
that's
yes,
what
true.
I
that's
agree
That's
with.
true.
not true. What incentive would they have had back then to do that on the
Well,
company side?
we're not talking about on the come up, but I do think that there is a level. So, for example, a lot of what Drake can rest his hat on has to do with he's been a number one artist for this span of time. He has not had ebbs and flows in his success because there has also been a machine pushing him. So that's what
Absolutely
I'm.
incorrect. Absolutely
So
incorrect.
there's no machine behind Drake at all from start to
I
finish
didn't
to
say
Hold
that.
on,
remember
hold
beyond.
on.
So
And
that's what are we
Okay,
talking
wait, wait.
about? That's what
hold
I'm
on.
saying.
So
Can I?
wait a minute. Me and Jonay are on the same side. Can you professionals explain to us
Mhm.
how you're coming to the conclusion that the machine wasn't
Here's
responsible
what a
for
They're
machine
Drake's
is,
conflating
success?
guys. Let me
arguments.
break the news to everyone. A machine just means you have a really good team. That's it. Stop with all the bullshit. Everyone
Yeah.
uses this word machine as if it's like this button someone presses behind the scenes and then all of a sudden your career is magically amazing. That is not true.
Okay, well, Ian, that's not what being said. That's not what's being said. Let me be very clear. So I also was one of the people that read the documents, and one of the things in the petition, Drake mentioned that at UMG there were people that were loyal to him that were fired, and he believed that that had to do with some of the issues behind the scenes. So if he believed that he had a certain level of loyalty and relationship behind the scenes with this giant UMG, what are you saying? I think that's where maybe I'm lost, and I'm okay to learn
Hmm.
today, but help me to understand if
Right.
this man is saying, hey, I have a certain level of relationship equity with Lucian, with UMG, I have this deal, I have these people behind the scenes. Those are not created or developed for just to say I have it. He's using that to his advantage for his career or has in the past.
But that's all we're talking about is his professional career. It's not like that's
Yeah,
out of context, and it doesn't
I
make
know
him a criminal. That makes him.
it doesn't. But but I think what Elle and I are saying is it's okay when you do it. It's a problem when I do it. Meaning it's okay when you get the benefits of having the relationships and having quote unquote the label connections that would push. Say there was. My thing is okay.
I don't think Drake.
We don't
Here's the
think
thing.
that during
Drake
the
has
back to
never.
backs.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think the issue is what you're saying. I think the issue is Drake's success is truly built off of people wanting to consume and replay his music. What he's pointing at is a falsified sense of popularity that is being perpetuated by certain platforms that have strategic partnerships with the label. Period. That's it.
And
And
I
And
think the same thing happened with Drake. Hold on, let me say this real quick.